of the Prudential Committee on the 16th of November, 2020. I'll do roll call. Ray Perone,
Ray Perone, treasurer.
Seth, Charlie,
Charlie Eager, clerk.
Fran Parks Prudential. Could we have the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Now it's on. There I go.
All right. I need a motion to resume the tax classification hearing.
I move to resume the tax classification hearing.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So apparently the town assessor isn't ready. So I make a motion that we suspend the tax classification hearing for 2 weeks
Second.
to a date certain, which would be the 30th of November, correct?
Ed said he would advise us when, the assessor said he would advise us when he's ready, or when the state says he's ready. And he even said in his email that it might be this week, so I said we would react to his instructions.
Do we have to set an exact date for the continuance?
Charlie, do we have to have a date certain for this?
But we'd have to, do regular notice. You could postpone it until such time as the town assessor gets property value certifications. And then you,
Have to have the usual
I
posting
think
time.
it should be a time certain, because you're leaving it open-ended. Well, I say do it 2 weeks. If he doesn't have it again, we'll continue.
That part of me. I'm not a parliamentarian. I presume that he thought of continuing to give the flexibility to.
We still,
But we have an open meeting. We're going to suspend it. I think we have to suspend it to a time certain.
yeah. You'd have to continue it to a time certain also, so. Mine? Yes.
Oh, sorry.
So
So that'll be the date, the 30th.
the 30th, so.
I second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so. Okay, so the treasurer's report. Treasurer's report.
Sure.
Thanks.
Very quick look at the financing. Indicates really just one significant item.
His mic's not on.
Sorry, what?
We can't hear the treasurer very well in the Zoom world. I don't know if his mic is on. Yours is very clear.
What's going on? I'm sorry, the mic
Right,
keeps
you
going.
use mine for now.
Jesus.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Jeez.
The review of the financials as of the end of October really has only one key point that I would like to leave with you. I'll go through all the detail. But the most important item that I noted was that while it appears that the tax revenue in total is on budget, our collection of the current year taxes is down approximately 14% from last year's collection of the then current year. I think this just is something that we have to watch going forward, because obviously this is a key part of our funding going forward. On the other side of that same fence, the water rate revenue was up about 117%. The very dry summer generated a lot of water usage, and their revenue was up almost $200,000. The concern when you put those two together is the tax rate, the tax collections could continue to decline. The water rate is a one-time. This reflects the key usage period, and that's really not going to carry forward. So it's something that we have to watch. It's not an emergency by any means, but it's something that we should bear in mind. Ambulance revenue is just down slightly, probably in line with some of the delays that people have experienced with taking medical care during the COVID emergency. But overall, on budget in terms of revenue, with that one key item to keep our eyes on. Turning to the expenditure, the Prudential is over its budget, and that's really due to a couple of factors, or several factors. Number one, we have the annual insurance premium, which occurs in July and skews the performance. Second of all, the salaries were up by reason of the extensive grant work and the refinancing that had to go on. I think it was all very worthwhile. The amount of grants that primarily the assistant treasurer was able to file for is close to $200,000. Whether we'll collect all that, of course, is an open question, but without that effort, we would not have been in the game. The fire department is on budget. The water department is on budget. Their chemical usage was up a little bit, which is understandable in light of the increased water pumped during the period. Finally, in the benefits area, all the other areas were on budget or have been completed. The benefit area also gets skewed by virtue of our annual retirement payment that is made in July of each year, which was over $300,000 this year. So in summary, we are on budget. Expenditures are under control, but we do have some things that we will have to, one thing that we will have to watch going forward. Are there any questions?
I have a question about the health insurance. Have we heard from Cape Cod Healthcare, Municipal Healthcare, what the plan for next year is going to be? Do we?
No, I have not heard anything about the rates. I've heard some, if you will, offhand remarks that seem to indicate that there will be an increase this year. And the reason for that is that most insurers are anticipating a strong rebound in medical expenditures because of the COVID delays. And the companies are raising their rates in anticipation of that.
I have a question about the lag in the tax collection. Is that average, or is it relative to COVID, do you think? Or does it fluctuate year to year, or is this about
This
on
is,
target for the rate of tax collection?
this is unusual
Mhm.
in my mind to see a drop like that in your current year collections.
Right. Do you think, I mean, I know it's it's a hard question to answer, but do you think it will, what do you feel? Do you think it's gonna, you have no way of knowing? right?
I really don't know. It's something that we want to watch. As I said, I don't think we have anything approaching an urgent situation, but it's the first time I've seen it.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have to watch it
Right,
and act accordingly.
all right.
Anything else on the report?
No,
Not for me.
I did have two motions that I would like to bring to the committee's attention. And these relate to motions that were made last year under the impression that the Prudential Committee could transfer funds from a closed article to another article. That was my impression. I was subsequently informed that that is not a correct action, that only the district meeting can transfer funds from one project to another. Accordingly, I would recommend that we rescind one motion that closed articles and amend another motion that closed articles. The amendment would bring the motion of November 2019 in line with the annual district meeting that had specified the use of closed projects for debt payments. And all the Prudential Committee was doing at that point would have been specifying it. But we have to amend it to the same level as was in the annual district meeting.
I have a question. The second motion is to move that motions 1 and 3 of the Prudential Committee of June 22nd, 2020, meeting regarding the closure of certain articles and projects be rescinded entirely. Is that specific enough, or does that need more clarity for those two previous motions?
If you're rescinding the whole motion, those two motions, you're rescinding all of them.
Okay,
And those motions are specific. I have the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie. I thought you had a copy.
I think you probably want to get all the.
Can't hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'll get close.
yeah.
Charlie, do you need to see the original motions?
Yeah, I think they should be expanded, so. Yeah, I would say to say what you are no longer gonna. I would say you should expand it and explain which ones are you're omitting. So,
Should we read the entirety of each of
Do you think,
the motions, enter them into the record?
should I redraft that and be more specific?
yeah,
Yes,
All right, well, I'll do that then for our next meeting. It doesn't have to be done this meeting.
okay, all right, great. Yeah, I think it needs to be more specific, the second one.
Okay. I'll catch you afterwards and get some guidance.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Freedom Hall, the voting went smoothly. There weren't any problems. The only problem was that at 5:30 in the morning, when I went to turn on the outside lights for the poll people to come, it stopped working. So we had the electrician here at 6:15, and it got fixed. And it was a little over $424, I believe, to replace the timer. The timer died.
Okay.
But other than that, everything is fine. We're in the third year of our snow contract. And so I'm just hoping we don't have a lot of snow. So, okay, I'll do the minutes from, so there are two corrections for the minutes. Under the tax classification hearing, it says Chairwoman asked for a motion to discuss, and I asked for a motion to suspend the tax classification hearing. And the other is no, where's that? Oh, okay. No, I think that's, Charlie, I think that's correct. Isn't that the request of the treasurer to, at the next district meeting, to ask to apply free cash to cover the expense of $49,000? Wasn't that for the treasuries altogether? I don't think that was for the equipment.
okay.
Okay. So the only correction is the one about the tax classification hearing. I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
Move to accept the minutes.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And the last is the Katuitt School Committee. The Water Department has elected Mr. Hoppenstadt to be the representative to the committee. The Fire Commissioners, Adam Zace, is going to be the member from the Fire Commissioners. I'm going to be the member from Prudential. And then Jackie Barton has agreed to serve. Jay McKinnon and Ron Mycock. So
what's the total number then that we'll have?
that makes it 7.
Uh-huh,
And I was thinking that 9 would be a good number.
right.
I'd like to see if I could get some of the people that were, excited about using the building to actually,
Right, some of the nonprofits maybe perhaps, or
just, some of the mothers who are talking
oh, of
about,
course.
having the playground, which isn't what we won't be responsible for, but,
Right.
using the building. So I'm not exactly,
So 9 will be the number then, ultimately.
I think so.
And so it will be a public body, the committee, by
Yeah.
definition. So it'll be subject to open meeting and all that. I'm just curious. I'm just asking questions
Yes,
about
yeah, open meeting.
the nature of it.
It's a subcommittee of the Prudential Committee, so.
Right.
And probably Chris Wiseman,
Right.
from preliminary meeting next month.
Uh-huh. Right, and do we have, I mean, any idea how often we think it should meet, or will it be, it will determine its own schedule? Right,
Thinking of spoke around considering backing out of a deal with district. Not true. They haven't decided one way or the other. And a church collaborative, but I'm the of an expense for
right,
as a school, and it would they would have their offices there. They have for
right, essentially.
they can't stay in the regular school, so.
Right, and they'll liaise with the town, the committee. And
Yes.
Is Jessica at all interested? Has anyone spoken with Jessica?
No, she doesn't want to,
wanna
she doesn't want to be on
participate.
any more committees.
I suppose she's got
That's a
plenty.
quote, yeah. So, and I thought I would, before the a meeting in December, check in with Mr. Anthony
Right,
and see if he
David
has
Anthony,
any.
if he would be, because it seems logical that if you could get someone from the town who might want to, who would consent to participate at some point,
Or at least, to have him on an occasion whenever there's
Right,
any
have him
new,
visit him
any information.
every couple of
about
months or come keep
Yeah.
the lines of communication open.
it. So that's
And
that.
do we have to move and vote on any of that? It's just a subcommittee? Or
No, it's just, I don't think we need to vote to set up a sub. So is there any public comment?
Yes, I do. This is Carol Zace. 86 Putnam Avenue. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes?
Just that last conversation, Chair Parks, we couldn't hear everything you were saying. Your voice was coming in and out at the end. So I'm not sure if you also mentioned, I think you were trying to have someone from the Civic Association on the committee. Is that still happening?
Yes, we do. It's Mr. Dan Hauser.
Okay, great. In regards to committees, are any of the other committees, your bylaws and policy, going to be meeting at all before the end of the year? I don't know how it works.
Yes, they are. They are. But between COVID and everything that's going on, we haven't had a chance to schedule that yet. But I'm planning on hopefully having a bylaw committee meeting next month, and then maybe sometime in January of a policy advisory committee meeting.
And then my last comment is with my civic hat on, and the doc for your meetings has arrived to our house on Saturday. And so I wanted to make arrangements to meet to present that to you, or just to give it to you guys, or set it up with from the Civic Association to make it easier for doing the system that you have in place now.
So, Paul, can you meet with Carol to hand that over? Yeah, he said yes.
Okay. And that's okay with you for me to meet with him to do that?
That's fine.
That's all. Thank you.
Hi, Tom Hoppenstead, 116 Cherry Tree Road, Water Commissioner. I just wanted to see, I also missed some of what you were saying, Fran, with respect to the elementary school subcommittee. Have you got any days or dates in mind?
Well, I was thinking, early in December,
No. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to talk over
All right. I get tied up on Wednesdays, so if we could have something other than Wednesdays, that would be best for me, but
okay,
just myself.
so Wednesdays.
Thank you.
Is this a good time or
Yeah.
later?
Nope, this is a good time.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
So for those meetings to occur, do you just post an agenda, you say this will be, or do we have to meet and say, oh, there will be a
no, we
meeting
don't have
on
to,
the
we don't
day?
have to meet,
All
no.
right, I'm just
But I'll
curious
just have to organize it among everybody to get a day that
Right.
everybody can,
where the time and place and all that.
can meet and then put out an agenda.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, hearing no other public comment, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Can I just, matters
Sure.
unanticipated, just quickly, just relative to filling Silvio's spot on our committee,
Yeah,
we're going to be meeting on the 30th. Can we put an agenda item in to discuss it at that meeting? Or what would be, I'm just curious about the mechanics of that, I guess.
well, it'd be preferable to have 3 people now.
Right,
And it'd be preferable to have somebody who's going to continue on after, after being, accepted onto the committee.
the ghost.
Yeah. But, on the other hand, the elections are in May, so that's, basically 5 months from now. So, we could wait till the elections to have somebody come on board.
Right,
But I think if we can find somebody now, it'd be preferable to have 3 people.
right. So we could put it on as an agenda item at our
Sure.
next meeting and just for discussion's sake.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
okay. Yes, Ray?
2 comments. The direct deposit, direct payment system is finally working, and we received about $350 so far. It's a start. And I wanted to correct something I said at the last meeting about the water department receipts. They were not being held. It just took a long time to get the deposits into the bank. So they weren't holding them, and I wanted to make sure that everyone understood that.
Yeah.
The scanner that we have in place now is working.
To scan the checks in to, or,
Yeah, so they can deposit right from the office.
good. And so I have a question for the assistant treasurer that's in the corner. You said that there was something of the CARES Act that I needed to sign. Is that some form that was sent in for the CARES Act? Okay. Okay. Yep.
We can't hear her at all.
Yes, there was some discussion about paperwork between you with the wording of the certifications we're signing.
Okay.
It's not about the quarterly CARES Act, it was about the large project
Okay.
signature. I will also be reaching out to the state contact about whether they also want us to certify the quarterly project submission that I did, but that isn't very clear right now. Yes.
I think I can clarify that. We don't need to certify the quarterlies with the town. I've straightened that out. We also have the amended agreement with the sunset provision that we wanted
Yeah.
incorporated in that. So we sign that, you sign it, submit that, and that will take care of any certification that we would need going forward.
Great. Okay, good. I had some questions about language that was in the agreement with the town. It looked like there was a possibility that they could audit and oversee our finances forever.
Yeah, there was an evergreen provision. We have to sign an agreement with the town to basically support them and our submission to the state. We piggyback on their submission on their CARES. We're talking about the CARES,
Right.
CARES Act.
the CARES grant. So we piggyback on their submission. And accordingly, they wanted some assurance that we would keep the records and be ready to answer questions if questions arose. The problem was when they sent the agreement to us, Fran pointed out that there were some evergreen provisions that permitted this oversight to go on forever.
Right.
So we spoke with our attorney and spoke with the town and got them to put in a sunset provision in one of the key areas. So
And what's the timeline for the sunset? How long does their oversight last?
I think we've set 3 years for it, which is the exposure that FEMA has for the
Right.
audit.
Well, that sounds good.
It could be 5 years just to give them some space, but I think 3 years is the usual time horizon for a FEMA audit. And this all goes back to FEMA.
Right.
Okay, so I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Yeah. Yes?
Hi, just wanted to know, is there a procedure for the committee to accept nominations for replacements for commissioner, the commissioner that resigned? Is there a formal procedure for that ahead of
No,
your
there's-
next meeting?
There's not a formal procedure that I'm aware of, but, you can send me an email.
Okay, that's simple as that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So are we all set?
Any other comment? No more comment?
No
I
more
guess
comment?
so.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.